I was standing in the marble foyer of a $3 million mansion that now had my name on the deed. And my mother was screaming at me, "You stole what belongs to this family." I hadn't seen her in 8 years, not since the day I ran with nothing but a suitcase and a bus ticket. My father stood behind her, my brother, my sister, all of them in the house I'd just inherited from Uncle David, the uncle who raised me when they wouldn't. They hadn't called when he was dying, hadn't come to the funeral, but now they wanted their share. My sister crossed her arms. "You're not keeping all of it." "We'll make sure of that." I didn't answer, because I had something they didn't know about. I had the will, I had his letters, and I had 8 years of documentation they thought I'd never kept. They thought I was still that scared kid who disappeared in the night. They were wrong. Where are you watching from, and what time is it right now? Drop it below. And if you think blood doesn't equal loyalty, hit that subscribe button. Because this story is about receipts, and I had all of them. Let me back up. I grew up as the family scapegoat. Every problem, every failure, every bad day, it all landed on me. My brother was the golden child. My sister was the baby. I was the mistake. I heard that word more times than I can count. There were locks on the fridge when I was 16. Screaming matches over things I didn't do. Silence that lasted for weeks. When I tried to go to college, my mother laughed. With whose money? I was 19 when I finally left. 1 suitcase, $43, a Greyhound ticket to a city where nobody knew my name. The only person who helped was Uncle David. He was the family outcast. My mother called him selfish for never marrying, never settling down. But he saw what they were doing to me. 3 weeks after I left, he called me. "You're safe now. Here's what we're going to do." He co-signed my first apartment, paid for community college, taught me how to budget, how to save, how to build credit. And he told me something I'll never forget. "I keep records of everything. You should too." So I did. Every nasty text I ignored. Every voicemail where they called me ungrateful. Every time they pretended I didn't exist until they needed something. I kept it all. Over 8 years, I built a life. I got my degree. I found steady work. I went to therapy. I learned what healthy boundaries looked like. Uncle David watched every step, and he was proud. Then 6 months ago, he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. He didn't tell them. He told me. "If your mother finds out, she'll come for the DNR papers." Not for me. When he died, I thought I'd lost my only real family. Then the estate lawyer called. The law office was quiet. Leather chairs, mahogany desk, the kind of place that costs $400 an hour just to sit in. The lawyer slid a document across the table. "Your uncle's last will and testament." I read it twice to make sure I wasn't imagining it. Everything. The house. The investments. $3 million in liquid assets. All of it to me. My parents, my siblings, they were named and then explicitly excluded. The lawyer cleared his throat. He was very specific about his wishes. "This will is airtight." I walked out in a daze. 48 hours later, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't pick up. "Sweetheart, it's Mom." I hadn't heard her voice in 8 years. She started soft. Warm even. "I know we've had our differences. But family is family. And Uncle David, he wasn't thinking clearly at the end." I stayed quiet. "We just want what's fair. We can work this out together." "No lawyers, just us." I said I needed time. That's when the group text started. My brother, "Don't be selfish. This isn't just about you." My sister, "You owe us. We're your family." Then my father sent his first message to me in 8 years. 7 words, "Lawyer up or settle. Your choice." They gave me 72 hours to do the right thing. I didn't respond. So they filed a will contest in probate court. And that's when the real war started. The petition arrived by courier at my apartment. 26 pages. Claim undue influence. Diminished capacity. Elder abuse. They were accusing me of manipulating a dying man. My hands shook as I read it. They'd hired a lawyer. A good one. The kind with a website full of testimonials and a corner office downtown. Within a week, the local news picked it up. Family war over millionaire's estate. My mother did an interview. She cried on camera. "We just want my brother's true wishes honored. We want our family whole again." The reporter didn't ask why she never visited him during chemo. My coworkers started looking at me differently. Someone left a printout of the article on my desk. HR called me in after my brother showed up at the office, yelling in the lobby. The estate was frozen. I couldn't touch a cent until the case was resolved. My savings were running thin. Rent was due. My therapist squeezed me in for an emergency session. "This is a relapse trigger," she said gently. "Are you safe?" I didn't know how to answer that. The mansion keys sat on my counter. I hadn't even gone inside yet. For one long, dark night, I thought about giving up. Just signing it all over, disappearing again like I did at 19. Then I remembered the folder, the one Uncle David left with his attorney, the one marked "When They Come." I opened it, and everything changed. Inside the folder was a letter, handwritten, notarized, dated 6 months before Uncle David died. It started like this. "If you're reading this, they've already proven me right." He knew they'd come. He knew they'd fight. And he documented everything. The letter laid it out, why he excluded them. Not with anger, with facts. He wrote about the family dinners where they mocked me. The loans he gave them that were never repaid. $3,000 to my brother for a business idea. $5,000 to my sister for a down payment she never made. 17 requests for money in 5 years. 3 birthday phone calls. 0 visits during his chemotherapy. He'd kept a timeline. Every interaction. Every ask. Every silence. His doctor witnessed the letter. So did his attorney. Both signed affidavits confirming he was lucid, competent, and uncoerced when he made his decision. The lawyer looked at me across the table. "This is admissible, and it's airtight. The undue influence claim falls apart the moment we file this." I felt something I hadn't felt in weeks. Hope. But then he turned the page. "That's just Section 1, he said. "There are 3 more. Uncle David hadn't just prepared a defense. He'd built a case, and I was about to find out just how deep his receipts went. My family didn't back down. They doubled down. 2 weeks later, their attorney filed an amended petition. New allegations. They claimed I'd forged Uncle David's signature on a codicil, that I isolated him from his family, that I had substance abuse issues. All of it was a lie, and they knew it. But mud sticks. My sister started a Facebook campaign. Justice for Uncle David. She posted old photos of him with the family, holidays, birthdays from 20 years ago. She wrote long captions about how much they loved him, how I turned him against them. The post went viral in our hometown. 847 shares. The comments were brutal. People I'd never met were calling me a thief, a manipulator, a con artist. My brother showed up at my job again. This time he made it to my floor before security escorted him out. I got called into HR a second time. "We need this resolved," my manager said. "It's creating a disruption." I wanted to scream. I wanted to show them everything. But my lawyer said no. "Don't try your case on social media. Save it for court." The pressure was constant. Every day a new message, a new post, a new threat. My mother went on local TV again. Tears streaming. My child has forgotten where they came from. The court date was set, 21 days out. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. Then my lawyer asked me a question that changed everything. "Do you have any records from the years you were estranged?" I pulled out my folder, the one I'd been keeping since I was 19. I'd kept everything, and I mean everything. 8 years of ignored messages, voicemails I never returned, emails I deleted but saved first. But it was the old messages that mattered now. Text from my mother 3 years after I left. "You're dead to us. Don't come crawling back." She sent that 2 weeks after Uncle David paid for my emergency surgery. She knew where I was. She had my number. She just didn't care. I had the police report from the night I left. Case number still visible. Domestic incident. Officers recommended separation. I had my therapy intake records. Diagnosis, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Origin, family of origin trauma. And then the big one, Uncle David's emails to me during his cancer treatment. Subject line, "Don't tell your mother." Body, "If she finds out I'm sick, she'll come for the DNR papers, not for me." I know my sister. I've known her for 68 years. This is my choice. "You're my family now." Every single claim they made, isolation, manipulation, undue influence, I had proof it was a lie. They knew where he was. They had his address, his phone number, his email. They just never used it. My lawyer looked at the document spread across the table. Then he looked at me. "We're not playing defense anymore," he said. "We're going on offense. Discovery in probate court is a beautiful thing. Both sides have to disclose financials, assets, liabilities, everything. And that's when we found out why they were really fighting. My parents were $240,000 in debt. Credit cards maxed. Home equity line tapped out. Car loans underwater. My brother's business had failed. He owed $38,000 in back taxes. My sister was 3 months behind on her mortgage, facing foreclosure. Combined, their debts totaled $394,000. Uncle David's estate was their bailout plan. It always had been. They weren't grieving. They were drowning. And then we found the messages, subpoenaed from my sister's phone, a text chain with my mother. If we push hard enough, they'll crack. They always do. Another one, split 4 ways, 3 million covers everything. We just have to make them settle. It was never about love, or family, or Uncle David's wishes. It was a coordinated strategy. The Facebook campaign, the news interviews, the amended petition, all of it designed to pressure me into giving up. Uncle David had written about this too. Second page of his letter. They see people as bank accounts. I won't let them do to you what they tried to do to me. I wasn't angry anymore. I was clear, and I knew exactly what to do. I stopped running. I stopped defending. I started acting. First, I hired a top probate litigator. Not the general practice attorney I'd been using. A specialist. Her name was on the door. 23 years of estate litigation. She didn't lose often. The retainer was steep, but the court approved payment from the estate itself. Second, I filed a counterclaim. Malicious prosecution, defamation, abusive process. I requested sanctions against their attorney for filing frivolous, unsubstantiated allegations. Third, I sent a cease and desist to my sister. Take down the Facebook campaign within 72 hours or face a separate civil suit. I attached 3 receipts showing her claims were false. She deleted everything within 6 hours. Fourth, I gave a statement to the same local news station that ran my mother's interview. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I just said this: I have documentation for every claim, and I look forward to presenting it in court. And finally, I submitted everything to the judge. Uncle David's letters, the timelines, the affidavits, my own 8 years of records, 47 pages, 13 exhibits, not as a defense, as a proactive motion to dismiss with prejudice. My attorney looked across her desk at me. Are you ready for this? I nodded. No more fear. No more silence. Just receipts. And resolve. The hearing was scheduled for the following Monday. I didn't sleep that weekend. But this time, it wasn't because I was afraid. The probate courtroom was smaller than I expected. Oak benches. High ceiling. The kind of quiet that makes every breath feel loud. My family sat on one side with their attorney. I sat on the other with mine. My mother didn't look at me. None of them did. The judge entered. We stood, and then it began. My attorney stood and addressed the court. Your Honor, we've submitted a motion to dismiss with prejudice, supported by extensive documentation. She walked the judge through it, piece by piece. First, Uncle David's notarized letter, witnessed by his oncologist and his estate attorney, written while he was fully competent. The letter was read into the record, every word. If you're reading this, they've already proven me right. The undue influence claim collapsed in real time. Next, the timeline. 17 requests for money over 5 years. 3 birthday calls. 0 hospital visits. The isolation claim fell apart. Then my attorney introduced my records. 8 years of messages. The police report. My therapy diagnosis. She put the text on the overhead projector. My mother's words, huge on the screen. You're dead to us. You could hear people shift in their seats. Then came the financial disclosures. Their debts. The subpoenaed texts about splitting the estate to cover everything. My brother stared at his hands. The motive was out in the open now. And it was ugly. Their attorney tried to recover. Asked for a continuance to review the new evidence. The judge looked up. Counselor, this evidence was available to you in discovery. Motion denied. Then the judge turned to the final page. The courtroom went completely silent. This will, the judge said slowly, was the product of a sound mind and a broken heart. The testator was clear. He was competent. And his wishes will be upheld in full. He looked at my family's attorney. The contest is dismissed. With prejudice. That meant they couldn't refile, ever. Furthermore, the judge continued, I'm imposing sanctions on the petitioners jointly and severally for filing a frivolous claim. They will pay respondents legal fees in the amount of $18,200. The gavel came down. It was over. My mother stood and walked out. My father followed. Then my brother, my sister. Not one of them looked back. I sat there shaking. My attorney put a hand on my shoulder. You did it, she said quietly. I had. The estate settled within 60 days. Everything transferred into my name. The house, the accounts, the investments, $3 million, and a mansion I still couldn't quite believe was mine. But I didn't move in. Not right away. There were too many ghosts. Too much history. I needed time, so I rented it out. A lovely family with 3 kids. The rent more than covered the property taxes and maintenance. And I did something else. I took a portion of the estate and started a foundation. A scholarship fund for teenagers escaping abusive family situations. It's called the David M. Carter Freedom Fund. First year, we gave out 4 scholarships. Tuition, housing, therapy stipends. Everything I wish I'd had at 19. Uncle David would have loved that. I kept my job. Took a 3-month sabbatical first. Traveled a little. Went back to therapy. Processed everything. When I came back, my coworkers didn't ask about the case. HR closed the file. Life moved forward. My family paid the sanctions. $18,200 split 4 ways. I never heard from them again. Well, that's not entirely true. My brother sent 1 email. 2 words. You win. I didn't respond. My sister deleted her entire Facebook account. My mother tried one last guilt letter 6 months later. Handwritten. 3 pages about family and forgiveness and how I'd changed. I read it once. Then I worked with my therapist to draft a boundary statement. 1 paragraph. Professional. Clear. I wish you healing, but I will not be part of your life. Please do not contact me again. I didn't need a restraining order. They finally got the message. 2 years later, I sold the mansion. It had appreciated. I put the full proceeds into the foundation. We've given out 23 scholarships now. Kids who had the courage to leave, to choose themselves. I live modestly. I invested the rest conservatively. I'm not rich in the flashy sense, but I'm free. I'm healthy. I have boundaries, and I have peace. Uncle David's legacy isn't the money. It's the permission he gave me to choose myself, to keep records, to stand firm, and to know that love is action, not obligation. Blood doesn't entitle anyone to your peace, and documents don't lie. So here's my question for you. If you were in my position, would you have settled to keep the peace, or would you have taken it all the way to court? Drop your honest answer in the comments. No judgment either way. If this story moved you, hit subscribe. We tell the ones that need to be told. And if you've ever escaped a toxic family, I want you to know something. You're not alone. Keep your receipts. Keep your boundaries. Keep going. Oh, and one last thing. This story is a fictionalized dramatization for educational and entertainment purposes. It's not legal or financial advice. Always consult qualified professionals for your specific situation. Uncle David taught me that the best inheritance isn't money. It's freedom. They wanted the money. I wanted my life. I got both. And Uncle David got the last word.